Hello, Brobs. We're back with Cat Astrology by Mary Daniels. Oh, I'm going to turn right to the first chapter. The Aries Cat, the Godfather. March 21st through April 19th. Ruled by Mars, red planet of war. The Aries Cat is the boss cat. From early kittenhood on, he seems to realize what a battleground life can be. And like the ram, which is the symbol of this sign, prepares to meet its challenges head on. Cats born under this sign seem to sense that life is often easier for he who is toughest, or at least appears to be toughest. So the Aries cat very often acts as if he were born in Sicily or spent some time there. Gentle and tender with the humans close to them, as only tough guys can be, it is the fierce, primitive, protective love they feel for their two-legged families that turns them into the neighborhood don of the cat Cosa Nostra. Even if you aren't sure of your cat's birthday, there are some unmistakable clues if he belongs to this sign. A neighbor reports to you she's spied Genghis Khan, your Siamese Aries, chasing a Doberman pincer out of its own backyard and down an alley. Aries is in for the power, not the glory. Mornings, when folks walk their dogs in front of your house, the latter crouch and creep by, rolling their eyes. For Genghis is sitting in the window, watching their progress, his bushed tail jerking slowly this way and that, colorful Sicilian curses coming from deep within his throat. The old Tom Attila, who used to run the neighborhood, has resigned and now has a job at the seed store, policing the rats. In fact, not too many other cats come around anymore, although every now and then Genghis does allow a bit of hero worship from the fluffy white kitten next door, and allows him to follow him into the garden and observe the proper way to hunt beetles. You may find this all very amusing and laugh and say, "Yes, that's Genghis." It is, of course, quite an ego trip to have this little warlord use your home as his headquarters. However, be warned that he can be a social embarrassment to you. Genghis will climb a tree and stay up there all day. As night approaches, you give in to your concern and call the fire department. They bring him down, Genghis protesting mightily. Once freed, he indignantly climbs right back up, this time 2 branches higher, emitting more colorful curses. Aries must be at the top. Genghis will casually use the mailman's leg as a scratching post, and you know what the laws are about defacing government property. The meter reader from the gas company will never be the same after reading Genghis's glowing eyes instead of the little dials in the dark of the basement. Aries does not appreciate intruders in his territory and will stake them out immediately. They make excellent watch cats and usually growl when a stranger rings the doorbell. Who knows how many burglars have been scared off by the growl of an Aries cat, which, through a door, can be mistaken for a German shepherd's? No. This is the cat that heads unerringly toward the very guest who hates cats, i.e. is terrified of them, and is perched on the edge of his seat hoping Genghis will not notice him. Genghis, of course, ignores everyone else, strolls right up and starts to read all the little telegrams on the guest's shoes and pants cuff, pausing every so often to look up with a knowing smirk as if to say, "Ha, I know the kind of places you go to." Aries loves a challenge and often meets it with a put-down. One must study diplomacy when living with an Aries cat. You and your mother-in-law, who believes all animals should be kept in zoos, are having a cup of tea on the back lawn when out of the kitchen window clamors Genghis, eyes crossed as they usually are when he's excited. No reflection on his intelligence, but often misinterpreted by non-intimates. A Cornish hen, last you saw, it was thawing on the sink, his clutch firmly in his jaws. You are about to invite your mother-in-law to stay to dinner. Aries is impatient and just can't wait. And like many warriors, he must eat on the run. These little adventures are common to an Aries cat who loves his freedom. Precisely for this reason, he should be an early candidate for the spay-neuter clinic, for he will be the epitome of cat machismo, an unprincipled playboy rather than a devoted father, and as many romances will mean continual mafia hits against the other male cats in his territory. Genghis never asks to be let out. He waits until someone else is going and then dashes through, rather like a baseball being hurled into the window of a car moving at 55 miles per hour. Usually, other cats will be quick to show Genghis the proper respect. They will race away from the garbage can the moment he appears. Unfortunately, no matter how aristocratic his birth or his circumstances, the Aries cat will have few social pretensions and doesn't care to be seen in the better places. At his worst, he may turn out to be a small time crook, and you shouldn't be surprised if the angry corner pharmacist calls to say Genghis was trying to commandeer the catnip toy section of the pet needs rack and is now being held at bay by the cashier with an aerosol bomb. While a small crowd cheers on his retaliatory swipes, thank heaven he's wearing his ID collar. You've often been tempted to replace it with a spiked one, as he does have his enemies. Without stern guidance on your part, your Aries cat will not have much of a life expectancy and can be counted on to go to the big golden garbage can in the sky early on in the game. If veterinarians would just be a bit open-minded and take the trouble to ask the astrological signs of their feline patients, they would find that Aries cats, either directly or indirectly, constitute a large part of their practice, trauma-wise. Very often, in fact, one can easily identify an Aries cat by the band-aid around its tail or across an ear. They could warn innocent humans coming in with a new Aries kitten of its tendencies, which in the short run might reduce their income, but would give them many more long-term Aryan patients. Physically, the Aries cat can be any color, but if it carries any red or ruddy color in its coat, it will be especially handsome. Coats tend to be thick and even a bit shaggy, like the ram, even when the breed doesn't call for it. Breeders may blame this on ancestral genes cropping up, but in actuality, it's just the astrological sign at work. The Aries cat is the neighborhood godfather, the walking embodiment of the territorial imperative. Aries has a large head with flattish facial planes, smallish eyes. Usually this cat is substantial in size but muscular and quick moving. He will have a loud, enthusiastic purr, somewhat like a stick run across a picket fence. The Aries cat has the most explosive temper of the zodiac, and when he goes on the warpath, like little can divert him from his ram-like head-on charge. Eating habits. The Aries cat will eat to live and keep the old machine going. As he is so busy with his war plans, plots, and counterplots, he will discover he is ravenous all of a sudden and be impatient for an immediate meal. Aries does not sit cutely in front of the refrigerator and meow sweetly. He will leap up on the table where you are having your lunch, lift a ham out from between two slices of bread, and chomp it down. Birds, rodents. These will be spoils of war to the Aries cat, and Genghis will often offer them to you as such, expecting praise. Although the hunting of the former must not be encouraged, neither should you neglect to admire his skill as a strategist. It would be hard on his spirit, ways of showing affection. If he butts his head against you, you know he's an Aries. It is sheer lack of perception and utter nonsense to think that cats are unloving. Even the primitive, me-first feline very often will be a one-person cat, worshiping you with possessive rapture. True, he will display his feelings in somewhat crude ways, such as love bites and mock attacks, jumping on your back when you are weeding the garden and lightly biting the back of your neck. But purring all the while, his approach will be, me cat, you human, all mine. In the absence of one great love, however, the Aries cat will delight in the domination of as many humans as possible. One large tomcat we heard of lives in a girls' college dormitory. Every morning he wakes a select few of the residents by standing on their chests, very often with his 2 forefeet on their mouths, purring, of course, all the while. Obviously, he is an Aries. Games he loves to play, boxing with his human or another cat, wrestling games, fighting a hand under a blanket, king of the mountain. Aries cat dotes on excitement. And the worst thing you can do is bore him. He can live indoors quite happily, however, if he's given enough toys and opportunity to exercise. An Aries litter mate makes a good companion. A litter of Aries kittens looks like a squad of tiny kung fu pupils. An Aquarian or Libran cat will also do nicely. Either will have a tendency to balance his aggressive nature. A window closed overlooking an active land or cityscape helps. The television turned on to one of the more sadomasochistic game shows may keep him occupied for a while. If you must be busy elsewhere, the greed will fascinate him. Names: Wolf, Tiger, Spike, Devil, Rasputin, Samson, Hercules, Patton, Yojimbo, the name of samurai warrior, Gumpton, Bulldog, Goliath, Killer, Red Baron, Fritz, Zapata, Bronson, Czar. Dogs. The Aries cat owner should expect to have both his photo and Genghis's up on the bulletin board of the local kennel club with a note which begins, "Warning, compatible humans, a good lawyer, a wrestler or a boxer, anyone who loves excitement, anyone who'd love to own an English Mastiff but doesn't have room, anyone tactful, such as Librans, forgive me, librarians, such as Librans, or bemused by primitive behavior, such as a cool Aquarian. Sleeping arrangements: like any warrior on campaign, the Aries cat sleeps where and when he can. The crook of a tree, the rain gutter, the top shelf of a closet, atop a door jamb, a corner of the roof, etc. Remember, Aries must be first. Being so even in the order of the zodiac, never ask him to move from the most comfortable chair if he's already in it, or both of you get to it simultaneously. Let him have it. By learning both abnegation and sharing, he will improve his karma, and you yours. He has the energy to come back in his next life as president of General Motors or a mugger, depending on the moral guidance he gets from his human. All right, then. And that's Aries. Cats.